Welcome to the studio. I'm your host, Felix, and this is Felix Finds. So far this season, I've travelled across the UK's coastlines from Falmouth's undiscovered beaches to the great British capital of London. On my journey, I've done everything, and I mean everything. From playing dress-up in Shakespeare's Globe Theatre to mountain tours and wax museums. I've seen it all. So tune in for creative tips, interesting trips, and an insight into all the hidden gems the UK has to offer. Today, I found myself in Yorkshire. Being the largest county in the UK, Yorkshire has so much to offer. It's one of the biggest tourist destinations in the UK due to its historic city, home to the oldest pub in the UK, the colossal York Minster, and a Potterhead's dream, the Shambles Market. So it's no wonder the city has built such a hype. Whilst I can't cover it all in one episode today, I'm going to take you through the city's vibrant cultural scene and the creative events it has to offer for both locals and visitors. Today, the producers thought it would be a funny idea to send me on a ghost walk, so follow along as I experience a bit too much of York's haunted history.
The psychic energies are strong. The amount of ghosts that is in this building is exactly between 5 and 15.
And if you're still here after the haunting, I get to meet with the people behind the Rea Gallery, a student-run gallery based in the University of York, followed by an interview with Sarah Loftus, the Managing Director at Make It York, keeping York a world-class location through their events, community initiatives and markets. Stay tuned for all this and more. This is Felix Finds in Finding Yorkshire. Welcome back to the studio. York as a destination offers so many commercial events for both locals and tourists to discover. From food festivals and markets to immersive experiences, let's take a look at what's on in York. First up, join me as I'm sent on a ghostly walk across the city. York is a city so full of ghosts, it was once named Europe's most haunted city, which, let's be honest, isn't the best thing to put on a postcard. But creatives and entertainment industries have turned York's dark past into many immersive experiences and tours, mixing history and performance. The Deathly Dark tours offer a blend of performance, education and storytelling. For any Halloween fan, this is a must visit. It promises visitors not just a great story, but an exploration into the city's haunted history. One that will make you question what's lurking in the dark. Welcome, brave souls, to the tour. Let's hope I survive until the end.
New people, could you stand on that side of the road, please? Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I am your guide. It is my honour to introduce you to the horror of the city that I call home. You ready for the high-techery? It's just me tonight. People, they're not here for the tour. They look like they should be, but they're not. Well, this is the most haunted street in York, and by default, it's the most haunted street in the entire country. I am spoilt for choice, with horrible buildings to tell you terrible tales about, but I want to tell you about this one. My favourite ghost story in York's history comes from the York Minster in 1921. But she notices the eyes, which are now glowing red, apparently. My love, there is a future state! She screams. The angel tells him that he must burn down the York Minster, which he tries to do. Here for the Minster burning down! Here for the plague! The plague won that time, then, definitely. Now, my darlings, would you like to follow me into the back streets of York, where everything gets a little bit weirder and a little bit spookier? Good. Right, follow me this way, please. Children were fantastically popular employees because they're cheap, they're small, so they can get into the spindly nooks and crannies of machines, and because they're still developing, if they lose an arm or a leg, it will grow back. Their colleague had been scratched by dozens and dozens and dozens of tiny hands! Oh, beware the tiny hands are better, for they might get you! that we can make light of dead children, isn't it? Now, 1, 2, 3, and row, 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 row. Maybe once more. Row, 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 row. Okay, now just... The amount of ghosts that is in this building is exactly between 5 and 15. It's a wide margin. Anybody from Liverpool, I'm really sorry. We know about the Minster, we know about Shambles. But do you know about the most haunted takeaway in York? York Shammy Chicken. Friends, beware this beast that goes by the wretched name of the Poultrygeist. Did your tour guide just stop you to tell you a joke? I live on my own. They're not unconnected. Follow me. It has no risk.
This was just one of the many ghost tours in York, and I have to say, it was a spine-chilling ordeal. If you're looking for a fright and potentially some comedy mixed in, it's perfect. I'll see you back in the warm and safe confines of the studio. That was a truly scary experience. I can say that I'm very happy to be back in the studio. And in the studio, I'm joined here today with Juliana, Head of Press, Belle, the Gallery Assistant, and Evie, the Co-Director of the Norman Rea Gallery. How are we doing today, guys?
Excited.
Good, yeah.
Thank you for joining us. So the first thing I'd like to ask is, what is the Norman Rea Gallery, Evie?
Yeah, so essentially we're a student society here at York, made up of a committee and about 50 members at the moment, and we work together to put on 4 art exhibitions a year in our little space, which is just above Courtyard in Derwent. And we're the only student-run gallery in the UK, supposedly.
That's very interesting. Juliana, what upcoming projects do you have as a gallery?
So our most upcoming exhibition, which will be the exhibition of our 2024-2025 program, is Adrenaline Junkie, which seeks to explore horror through art. The opening night will take place next Wednesday at 6:30. There'll be a free drink at the door, and the string quartet Eberchorum will be playing at 7:30 with the curator's speech at 8 p.m.
That does also sound very interesting. I think I will be there myself. And Belle, how can students get involved with the gallery?
Yeah, so as Evie said, we host 4 exhibitions a year, and committee and members alike can get involved in sourcing artists, and then on installation days they can get involved in the curation of the exhibition. Yeah, and we have lots of events throughout the year as well that members can attend.
We have an install day this Saturday.
Yeah.
So come along.
Yeah, what will be happening on Saturday?
Just a lot of hammering and...
A lot of hammering.
Yeah.
All the artworks which we have kind of sourced will be put in place. The place will be decided, and then captions will be printed.
Yeah, it sounds very interesting. And what opportunities does the gallery give to University of York students?
Well, I suppose we don't really have sort of like a practical art degree here, so it kind of gives a platform for student artists to exhibit their work and sort of younger up-and-coming artists that wouldn't ordinarily have the platform to do so. And just kind of providing like a little cultural hub here on campus, really.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like a really great thing. Yeah. Has the gallery collaborated with any local artists within York?
Yeah.
I think
especially for the last exhibition as well.
Yeah, for the last one we sort of collaborated quite closely with York Potters Association, so we had quite a few ceramic pieces in the space, which was nice. Sort of a nice way to kind of celebrate local artists here and show, yeah, sort of bring the city onto the campus.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that you also collaborated with some international artists. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, so unfortunately, due to us having quite a low budget, we aren't able to fund the shipping from different countries. But if artists are able to and open, we can get digital work and then print it off so we can have it on site. So in that way, the gallery does become a sort of international hub.
Yeah.
That's really impressive. It's great for York students to be able to have this opportunity to sort of express themselves. We'd like to say thank you so much for joining us in the studio today. Help support the University of York and the Norman Rea Gallery and its upcoming talent by checking out the events and opportunities that they offer. Next up, I interview Sarah Loftus at Make It York. Stay tuned. First of all, it's lovely to meet you, Sarah. I'm glad to finally have this meeting. To start, we'd love to hear a bit about you and your role in both Visit York and Make It York.
Okay, so I'm the Managing Director of Make It York and Visit York, and I always say I've probably got the best job in the world. because Make It York is the company and Visit York is the kind of brand. So Make It York covers 4 key areas, really. It's about the promotion of the city, and we act as the city's destination management organisation. But we also run the Shambles Market on behalf of the City Council. And we also carry out all the major events. So we manage all the public spaces in the city centre and work with third parties to put on free events in the city centre, but we also run Christmas market, ice trail, all the wonderful fun things for people to do.
What do you look for when you're choosing events to feature?
Well, there's 2 ways that events come across in the city, you know, that they come about. The first is we will lead some events. So it'll be my events team that have the creative ideas that think, actually, this is what we want to do. So they do a lot of research about what's happening elsewhere so that we don't duplicate.
Yeah.
They are a bit creative to think about what it is we can do, because, you know, we are the UK's largest ice trail and everybody's trying to copy us now. So we have to, you know, get better and better.
Yeah.
The other way we look for events is we have what we call third parties that will come in. So the Jorvik Festival, for example, is run by the Jorvik Centre. So they'll come in and say, this is what we want to do. We help them manage the spaces and give them some support. So there's lots of different ways about how we bring events into the city.
Could you tell me about what the mission of Make It York is? What makes it so special, and how do you find ways to nurture and showcase York's creative spirit?
For us, it's really showcasing York in the best way possible. So, you know, we promote in various different ways to different audiences on TV, on Sky. We work and do bespoke videos. So we work with local developers. I think that helps because they feel the city, know the city, and I think that sets us apart.
York is known for its rich history, art and culture, like you were saying. How do these elements contribute to creating a unique experience for tourists and the local community to really understand and get to see all the best parts of York?
I think it's storytelling, isn't it? There's lots of stories, there's history, and I think there's something that appeals to everybody, whether or not you're interested in Roman history or Viking history or chocolate or historic buildings. For some people, reading it in a book might not excite them. So I think it's the way in which all the different places in New York, all the attractions, do it in a different way that makes it really interesting and special.
Are there any upcoming events that you're especially excited for?
My favourite is this year we've created a giant ice cube that at the moment 4 adults have got in and had a selfie. So I can't wait for that to go out because I just think that's so much fun. And I think events like that put a smile on people's face, and that's what we need. You know, we need people to be happy.
What kind of impact do you hope to see Make It York and Visit York have both on the tourists that come to the city and the local community?
I think we have an impact in loads of different ways. One, obviously, economic impact. You know, we know, for example, the Christmas market brings £81 million of revenue. You know, out of all spend in retail comes from 2/3 of visitors.
What are your hopes and aspirations for the creative industries in York?
I think I'd like to work more closely with the creative sector. We worked with Aesthetica Film Festival.
Well then, that brings us to the end of the show. Today, we found ghosts, explored what's on locally, and met the people behind the iconic city destinations. Next week, we'll be back as I find myself in Leeds. If you like a vibrant art scene or you're a certified party queen, you'll want to keep up with my next adventure. Till then, this is Felix Finds, and I've found Yorkshire. Goodbye.